Fontana Gardens originated from a plot of land acquired from Tywardreath Manor by the current owner Derek Bishop, to build a house and create a garden from scratch. The land had not been used for over 70 years and consisted of 14 acres of brambles, bracken and many trees that had reached the end of their lives or been blown over. The owner worked on clearing over half the site and created the garden as it is today. Derek wanted to build an Italian-inspired garden, and a friend who owned the local nursery imported the fountains and all the many statues. The garden was constructed without any plans and was formed whilst in construction. The paths were then created to connect the areas together. In March, primroses are at their prime. The garden has hundreds and it's a wonderful sight. There are so many it's difficult to avoid walking over them. There is also an astonishing number of different trees, at least 45 varieties, that are springing to life and buds are appearing everywhere. The garden also has an Acer glade with over 50 trees that were planted in 1974 by the Railway Convalescent Home. In April, under the Acers, the 2 acres of bluebells are in bloom. Around 10 years ago, the owner also planted a huge amount of daffodil bulbs. However, a lot of these have been eaten by the squirrels. In the middle of the garden, there is a stream. Besides the stream, there are around 50 gunnera plants and over 40 tree ferns. Further down in the garden, there's a large pond fed by a natural spring. This was an existing feature of the garden, which had collapsed and needed rebuilding. The area is surrounded by many camellia, rhododendron, and 5 beautiful copper beech trees, which are over 80 years old. Further along you come to the forest. To get through the steep slope, a track 9 feet deep was cut. Today you would never know it had been done. Any trees that are blown down are left where they lay. Walking back up the steep slope on the left, there's a 70-foot rockery, a pagoda and another fountain with viewing platform over the garden. A number of seats can be found throughout the garden. There's also a treehouse which is currently undergoing renovations. On the lower path there's a 30-foot laburnum and wisteria arch which will hopefully be in full bloom this year.